Welcome to another listening adventure where I decide to rant and discuss about theories that probably won't happen because, of course, they would never go for this. And of course, they would never hire me to write this. But let's get into it. We have got three beloved franchises that have lasted for nearly half a century or more. We're looking at them being destroyed one by the woke PC police. And now, we find that there is a turning point here. Yes, the fandoms are leaving, disowning these new franchises, clinging to their old favorites as best they can. But for the most part, they're dead. So, let us look into this ultimate rebellion of where these franchises have been taken, and see if we can regenerate them with something new, an ultimate crossover. That's right, I am talking about Dr. Trek Wars. The combination of the best Doctor Who, Star Trek, and Star Wars have to offer. An insane crossover idea that should not be limited to fan fiction, a graphic novel, or even a TV special. No, we must talk about a theatrical release, a blockbuster, a major motion picture. And yes, we must utilize the best and worst of these franchises to regenerate them and bring them back to where the fandoms will cheer again. The PC woke police may not like it, in fact they'll probably despise it, because it will retcon several of their retcons until the retcons are no more, and we return to what is true to the franchises. Some people like them, some people don't, some people are like, it's alright for what it is. But now it's time to delve into why I believe that this crossover can be the means to which we can regenerate and undo the damage done. It can be our rebellion, our resistance, to make these three franchises great again. Oh wait, that's getting political. Anyway, let's get into it. It goes without saying what Doctor Who, the first franchise listed in this title, that we have seen a descent, a major descent where the Doctor and all concepts around the franchise have been abandoned, and I have discussed this before. But the entire franchise, under Dr. Karen, have been completely rewritten, to where the Doctor was never really a true Time Lord, but created into a Time Lord by angry old white men. At least I suppose that's the narrative they want to push. Anyway, we must undo that, but to undo that we would need to use a previous Doctor. And I believe that in using a previous Doctor, we can rewrite the current history to where people who were like, it's okay, but it's not the greatest, can still enjoy the show. We do not have to remove the previous, 2 seasons she had? Anyway, we can keep those, but rewrite it in such a way to where the retcon is retconned. And by retconned I mean reverted back to the original story, to where it does not interfere with the 50-plus years of history. Star Trek has basically stalled out. We had 3 okay movies with Chris Pine and the other original series reboot / redone / alternate timeline story. Yeah, it gets a little complicated, but they were okay. There's disagreements, there's issues, but none of them were any worse than Nemesis, and I don't think any of you are. No Star Trek fans are like, oh, Nemesis, we gotta ignore that movie ever exists, other than the fact that it's an even-numbered Star Trek movie when it should be counted among the odd-numbered Star Trek movies. And if you get that joke, thank you for listening. But anyway, we went from Star Trek Beyond, which was this great celebration, had some issues with the plot, but it was basically an overall fun movie to watch. It was okay. was okay in my opinion. But we get into some of the issues with these spin-off series. Discovery, ugh. Picard, oh, why did you do that? We wanted to see what happened after Voyager, but we did not want it to be this piece of garbage. And then the monstrosity that completely flies in the face of the memeable moments of the animated series. Yes, it's the new animated series, or should I say, let's just take Family Guy or Rick and Morty and slap Star Trek on the label, and people will like it. Forget the fact that it's just completely terrible. Absolutely terrible. But we gotta get rid of those 3 internet streaming only franchises, even though they released them on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever format they released it on. They did release it, but still, primary release is through streaming service, so you can pay Paramount $10 a month or whatever. But we need to get rid of those, and I think we can get rid of those by fixing the timeline through a 4th installment of the Abrams Trek series. I guess that's the best way to refer to it. I guess the Kelvin timeline, maybe? Is that usually what it refers to as? Yeah, doesn't matter. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Put Chris Pine in another movie, put him in this Dr. Trek Wars crossover, and it'll be good. And then we've got the worst of the bunch. Well, I think Doctor Who actually might be worse. I actually watched the sequel trilogy. I actually thought it was bad, but okay for what it was. Rise of Skywalker, as terrible as the plot of that movie was the best out of the 3. Yeah, and that's saying something. But that's a video for another day. Anyway, I think we can undo it by involving time travel. I know certain Star Wars fans won't like it, but I think if we make time travel a thing in there, bring Doctor Who into the mix, we can make time travel undo a lot of the damage done. In fact, really all we've got to do is remove the clone or return of Palpatine, and that basically undoes the sequel trilogy. And by undoing the sequel trilogy with making sure Palpatine dies in Return of the Jedi, then we can basically say those movies never happened. But by doing time travel, we can make sure that people who did like the sequel trilogy can still enjoy it, because the episode 10 or whatever Dr. Trek Wars would fit under, that would go in and undo the damage caused by the sequel trilogy, but using someone from the sequel trilogy, not Rey, but someone from the sequel trilogy to go back in time and stop the events from ever happening. So, that's just the gist of it, and I will get into more of it later.